I know, it's not always easy to try to decide what to wear or which clothes to buy and to know which clothes suits us. In fact, we can end up feeling quite overwhelmed by all the options. Or then sometimes we'd like to try on something new, something that we've never worn before, but then again we want to avoid looking ridiculous. And yet, some people just seem to always know what to wear to every occasion and seem to always look great. So I often ask myself, what's their secret? I'm Elle, and over the last few years I've been sort of on a mission to study the most elegant and stylish icons and people that I know, and I've been trying to figure out what are the common denominators that make them all look so stylish and charismatic. It's quite a fascinating topic, actually. And I've been living in Paris for about 5 months now, and I must say that I've gotten a lot of inspiration concerning this topic while living here. And while I've always been interested in this topic, it's really awakened this passion in me all over again. And I know it's not rocket science, it's not that hard. But then again, we have to acknowledge that putting together outfits is a skill that requires knowledge and practice. And there are just so many ways to think about this. And it all depends on where you've grown up, basically, and what kind of environment you're in. And I know that I've had the chance of having parents and grandparents that have been interested in these aesthetic things. So I've sort of absorbed many things implicitly while growing up. And I know that I've still got so much to learn, but I just wanted to share you what my thoughts are right now, so far, what I've learned during this little life that I've had. So let's think of 3 points today. Firstly, a point on the more general philosophy of all this. What do we mean by a sense of style? Just to understand the complexity of the matter. And secondly, I have a point of encouragement to you. And thirdly, an easy action point that we can all take from this. So what on earth is a sense of style, if we're considering clothing and dressing up? I think it's a very elusive and ambiguous concept, first and foremost. And especially if we think about the word style, it's used in so many different contexts, and the signification kind of varies according to the moment in history we live in. Of course, there are so many different types of clothing styles, and it's something very personal, and it depends on your body type and which colors suit you and what kind of lifestyle you lead and what is simply in fashion in the moment of history we live in. So I think we can agree on this, that it's actually quite a hard topic to talk about, and it can easily be even controversial to give advice on this, which is why it was quite interesting that Carolina Herrera said this.
Yo nunca en mi vida he dado un consejo de cómo se deben vestir las mujeres, a menos que me lo pregunten. Todo el mundo puede hacer lo que le dé la gana. A mí no me importa.
I agree, Carolina. No me importa. I don't care what people are wearing. It's not my business. But then again, if someone would ask me to give advice, yeah, sure. I love this topic. But overall, I think it's just good to realize that style and, for example, being a stylist is an actual job that requires expertise. It's maybe a bit simplistic to say that, but yeah, it does require quite a lot of experience to really know how different pieces of clothing fit to different kinds of body types and personalities. That's not easy. But as we're not professional stylists here, we need to only know what suits us. So that's only one person to take care of. And once you figure out something that works for you, you might as well continue with it. And maybe check every year or 5 years or so to just see that you're not looking too dated. So at this point, you can consider that you have maybe one of two problems. Either you have a knowledge gap, that you simply don't have, you lack information on clothes and how to put together outfits, and that's fine. But there are also some people who have a lot of knowledge and hear advice on how to dress well, but don't take action on it. So then you have an execution problem, that you would like to do more stuff and you would like to look better and apply the stuff, but you still simply haven't had the time or the energy to do that yet. So just keep that in mind, and I'll make future videos in both of these categories, just really on the basics of what I like to do, and then the more execution side of the things, and really the details of making your personality shine with your clothing, and yeah, all that nice stuff. But for now, let me know in the comments if you consider yourself to have more of or that you lack the knowledge, or then you just don't know how to execute the knowledge that you've heard. Or then just share anything that's resonated with you so far. But let's move on to the next point. So often when we talk about that someone has a sense of style, we introduce this notion of having the eye, that they have the eye for it, or the visual eye, or that they understand how to create something beautiful and understand aesthetics. Carolina Herrera talks about this too, actually.
You have an eye that's incredible, and that's what everyone's always said about you when you read things about Mrs. Herrera. It's that she looks at something and can right away, yes or no.
When I like it, I tell you immediately. And if I don't like it, out. You are the one who are producing the style. So you have to listen to yourself and what is inside you and what do you think and your eye. Because it's your eye who's going to tell you what to do.
So it is a vague concept, but it's an important one. And I happen to believe that it is possible to train your eye. But like with any skill, some people just maybe have a bit of better baseline to start with, or maybe some talent for it, but it still shouldn't stop you from developing your own personal style, if you want to, if that interests you. Because if you want to do it, I think you can develop the skill. But of course it's also fine if you're not interested in it, or that you feel like you would like to know how to dress a bit better or to know a bit more about clothing, but it doesn't interest you enough that you would like to invest some effort in it. But I think it's just so interesting that usually we think of clothes as something quite superficial, but then again they have quite a profound effect on our lives because we spend so much of our lives clothed. Well, at least in this culture where I come from. And most of all, it has a huge impact on our identity because it affects how we view ourselves and how others view us. Where do I start, I hear you say? Well, before we get to the actual point, if you like the way I think about this, consider subscribing to this channel and liking this video. That will help a lot. And I'm aware that these are kind of more general points that I'm making on this right now, but we'll go deeper in them in the future. So don't go and buy a whole new wardrobe all at once right now. No, it's good to start with small steps. And this is not a very concrete step, but I think it's very valuable to first start to try to tune your brain into the stylish things in life. That is, to start looking at life through the lens of stylishness or elegance or beauty, just to notice stylish things happening around you. For example, if you see someone on the street who's looking stylish, or seeing nice looking birds or something, anything. Because if you start thinking about it more often, you will notice more stylish things around you. And the best news is that it costs nothing to just do this little mindset shift. And I believe that it kind of instantly elevates your day-to-day life as you notice or experience or see something stylish or beautiful. And as you notice more of these things, it will also help you train your eye. Now, if you want to go a bit deeper on this, I'm going to recommend you a couple of books. If that's all right, give me a second. All right, let's start with these. Nina Garcia, The Little Black Book of Style. Excellent book. I read it every few years. Nina Garcia, The 100. Grade 2. Lessons from Madame Chic, 20 Stylish Secrets I Learned While Living in Paris. By Jennifer L. Scott. Grade 1. As the absolute bestseller of Parisian style is La Parisienne by Ines Lafressange, which goes by the name of Parisian Chic, I think, in English. And yeah, it dates a few years back, maybe quite a few years, let's check. 2010. Wow. And finally, Ines Lafressange, Comment je m'habille aujourd'hui, which means, what am I going to wear today? But it goes with the name Lookbook, I think, in English, if I remember correctly. That's it. So these are the books that resonate with me. They represent how I approach my personal style. So now that we tune our brain waves into everything that's stylish around us, we can do two things. Firstly, we can start imitating the looks that we like. And secondly, to start being a bit more creative with everything that we see, the influences that we absorb, so that we can start thinking outside the box and finding combinations that we might have never thought of before. Yeah. It'll all come naturally, I hope. Or then it doesn't come naturally. I don't know. But the most important thing is to just have fun during the process and express your creativity. So if you're doing that, then that's already great. That said, though, I think it's good to learn to also look at other stylish people with the right mindset, so as to not compare ourselves to others, but to just take inspiration with joy and try to figure out what's our own personal style, something that's personal to us. And there's no denying the fact that we will make fashion faux pas. That's for sure. Believe me, I've made them a lot, and I still make them. But that's fine, because as long as we feel confident as we step out the door and we're ready to take on the world, that's what counts that day. But yeah, in hindsight, of course, we can still look at, if you have pictures of your previous looks, we can look at, that was maybe the best option. But then again, yeah, that's the way to learn. And over time, it'll come easier and you'll figure out what works for you, and then you can stick with it. At least my own style is and will always be a work in progress. But that's the beauty of it. There's always something to learn. And I'm pretty sure that even the most stylish people in this world who have had awards on their style and everything, like Carolina Herrera, for example. She's the leitmotif today in this video. I'm very inspired by her thinking around fashion and style. But yeah, even her, when she's getting dressed in the morning, I'm pretty sure she has doubts all the time, because even though she has a very well-defined style and she can be confident in that, it's still not every day that we feel necessarily confident in that. Or maybe she does, I don't know, but at least for most of us, we have doubts sometimes, and that's fine. It's part of the process, and the point is just to maybe increase the percentage of time when we feel stylish or cool, nice, I don't know. We're searching for this feeling of feeling nice when we go out. That's as simple as it is, I guess. But I just wanted to open the discussion on this theme, and I would love to hear in the comments what you think about this, and who do you think is really stylish? Do you like Carolina Herrera, like I do? If you've come this far in this video, firstly, thank you. And secondly, I'm pretty sure you'll like this video as well. So I hope I'll see you there, and yeah, have a stylish week. Bisous!